What is up, internet world, and welcome back to Accelerate. I'm Mike, he's Ian, and today we're bringing the 2024 Kia Seltos. This is the all-new, refreshed 2024 Kia Seltos. Now, we reviewed the 2021 back in our studio over 2 years ago, and it amassed 306,000 views. So we're pretty pumped to review this 2024 right here on the beaches of Lake Ontario. I'm in the 2024 Kia Seltos. A big shout out to Kia Canada for bringing us here to Prince Edward County, for filling our bellies up and letting us have this Kia Seltos to touch, feel, and of course, drive for you guys. Now, I'm in the upgraded 1.6 liter turbocharged engine that makes an extra 20 horsepower off the last generation, and it makes 195 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque. There is a 2 liter also available as the lower base engine. That makes about 146 horsepower and about 132 or so pound-feet of torque. Now we're gonna see what this thing does to 60. All right, oh my God, that was tough. My stomach's killing me, man. Oh God, I don't think I can wait for Ian. Come on. Okay, Ian, I'll be back, bro. All right, so we're gonna see what this thing does to 60. 7.54. I can't go back for Ian.
I have to find a bathroom. I have to find a bathroom. I have to find a bathroom. I gotta poop. 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 I gotta poop.
Okay, a bathroom. A bathroom. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh shit, women! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Much better.
With additional horsepower for 2024, the Kia Seltos helps you get to where you need to go, faster and safer.
I feel 1,000,000 pounds lighter. Okay, there's 3 drive modes: normal, sport, and smart. Let's see what this 8-speed new transmission can do to 60. Come on, gotta be better than 7.5. Slower. 7.42. Okay, so I would say that it makes probably no difference, to be honest, with this sport mode. I don't think it changes any sort of shifting points or any sort of aggressiveness. Maybe at normal speeds, it'll just keep the RPM higher, but in terms of full-out acceleration, it does the same in smart as it does in sport. Now, the other thing to note is that the other engine you get, the 2 liter, the base comes as a CVT and not with this new 8-speed transmission they have in the Seltos. That's new, interesting. How much slower will it be? That is a good question. Definitely slower than 7.5 seconds. So if you're wondering how large the Kia Seltos is, well, it slots between the Soul and the Sportage. Now in Canada, it's a big deal because this is Kia's #1 best seller. Yep, they sell the most of these guys. So in the US, we can start with options and trim packages. You have 5 of them. It starts off with the usual LX, then you have the S, then you have the EX, and then you have the all-new package called the X line, which they're putting in most of their vehicles today. And then you have the top dog, the SX, which is what this one is. Gives you all the options, including the upgraded engine, the 1.6 turbo that adds an extra 20 horsepower from the last version, and a few other tidbits that we're gonna get into. To the front of the updated Kia Seltos, You've got the fancy Kia badge right here. You've got this grille on the top that has this nice cool texture. And then you have the headlights, which now have this star map feature design with the LED headlights right behind it. And then you have this vertical fog lights, 1, 2, and 3. Then you have the radar sensors right here in beneath this black grille that has these little like lips to it. Really cool. And then you have this tiger nose design on the bottom of the grille. And then you have new front skid plates. They're not exactly metal, but they give that look. To the side. So let's talk about these wheels. You have 4 choices depending on the trim level you buy. This is the SX, so you have 18s. If you got the X line, you also get 18s. Every other trim level beneath it gets 17s. Around the wheels, you have this hardened little plastic that has an indentation in it to give it a bit of a design feature. It's designed so that it doesn't screw up the paint. There's no stone chips because it's all around the car. As you can see, it flows up and over the front and back wheels. So let's talk about these mirror caps. They don't have 360 camera. You can't get it on the Seltos. You do have this little LED turning indicator. Now, let's talk about these door handles. They are painted front and back. The front ones are the only ones you can walk up to the car and pull the handle and unlock it. Now, Kia has the new fancy digital key on your cellular telephone, so you can remote start it and lock and unlock it with your phone. Sick! Now, as we move down, this front windshield has an acoustic glazing to make it quieter. They've also added insulation in the vehicle to also make it quieter. And I know this because Ian was filming on the outside. He's like, man, that is so loud on the outside. But when I was driving it, it was very, very quiet. Now, aesthetically speaking, you have this little anodized chrome strip on the bottom that wraps around here that gives you this little tiny window that reduces the blind spots. Yep, when I was driving it, I could actually see through this window and see that there was no blind spots or no cars here, and that was a thumbs up. Other aesthetic pieces is this little roof rail. Take a look at this little end piece here. I think that's really cute. Now, as we wrap around the corner, you have the back. Starting at the top, you have your little shark fin for your satellite radio. And then you see this little indentation on this sporty, fancy spoiler. I like that. That's a cool little touch. It is painted. It's not all black like some other manufacturers. Then you have a third brake light hidden right there. You've got this black, piano black trim around the inside of the spoiler that wraps around this glass. And then you have, of course, your wiper, pretty straightforward stuff. And then it flares out a little bit more into what Kia has, the signature star map feature, which essentially means it gives this little L-shaped at night. Looks pretty cool, matches the front. Then you have the Kia badge integrated into that light bar. And then you have your rear view camera that has really, really good clarity. And then moving down from there, on the sides of the vehicle, you have more of this hardened, durable plastic, rubberized, textured material. And then on the center, you have more piano black. And then, of course, to match the front, you have your upper skid plates. They're really, really high when I look at the back of this Kia. And if you're wondering how much does it tow, well, the answer is it's not recommended to tow on a Kia Seltos. But they've added one feature, and that is this. Open up, baby. Woohoo! Front seat of the Kia Seltos. It's been almost 3 years, baby. I've missed you. Okay, lots of updates. Look at the screens. You've got a 10.25 here, a 10.25 here, but we'll get to that in a second. Let's start off with the door panel. Memory seat, you've got 2 of them. You've got the Bose sound system. You've got power windows on all 4 corners, but just the front one is automatic, all the way up and all the way down. Ooh, I have a small baby sunroof, not a panoramic. I do have a cool steering wheel that is heated and flat bottom. The new Kia logo. All the right features you need to have on the steering wheel is what Kia does. So on the left side, I have my modes, and I can pick up phone calls, voice activation, and a star or custom button that I can program in the infotainment. On the right side is all your cruise control, keeping your lane smart, all that fun stuff is on the right. This does not have paddle shifters. It's actually in the gear shifter down here. I have an S mode that I can go up and down to shift gears with this 8-speed transmission. As far as the dash on the left-hand side goes, I have my heads-up display. When I hit this button, she rises. Rise on up. Rise on up. Voila. Right there is your heads-up display. Then I have a button here that I can open up the trunk as well as close the trunk. So when I hit this button, We listen. Beepity beepity beep. The trunk opens up. It'll open up all the way to the point I left it. I press it down again and hold it. Beepity beep. I get the four-way flashers and it closes. Nice. Now moving across and down, you have two decent sized vents with of course your four ways in the middle and a more upgraded, cleaner, more refined HVAC controls. I do have a single climate control right here, not dual climate control. I have 3 auto buttons, which means that it's automatic, but I have 3 intensities of auto. And then of course I have my map, my nav, my seek, my radio, and 2 knobs. On the left side is your volume and on the right is your tuning knob on the right. Of course you can adjust your fan speed and all that stuff with this nice piano black trim. I like the way they've separated that. Underneath it you have your wireless charging, nice big individual dedicated spot for that right underneath there. And then you have your USB, USB-C, and then cigarette lighter that you plug in and a little bit of storage right there. Around that you have your piano black, and I would say that it's not bad at all because you're not really going to touch the piano black because it's basically surrounded by buttons. Those buttons happen to be 4-wheel lock. They also happen to be heated and cooled seats per side, and then of course you have your parking, your rear camera. This does not have 360 camera because when I push this button, all I see right there is a rear camera, but it has really good clarity. And as you can see, it's very gentle and soft when I turn the steering wheel. It also has hill descent to the right of it, and of course heated steering wheel. And then moving down from there, you have your electromechanical parking brake and of course auto hold. And to the right of the auto hold button is 2 deep and fairly wide cup holders. As you can see, I can fit a water bottle and a whole lot more. And then you have the armrest that does slide backwards and forwards when I pull this little handle. It's not the best softness, I should say, but it does slide, and that's really big for me because I don't have the longest arms in the world. How about depth? Well, I have a measuring tape right here, and I can tell you with this fancy dancy number, it is 7 inches high, which is good enough for, say, an iPhone 14 and a little bit more. Now you have driver memory seat, as I mentioned, as well as driver power seat with lumbar, and you are looking at the passenger seat. The passenger seat is also powered. Now when I look at the dash from afar, I like how this brown sort of wraps around the dash. It's not exactly leather, it's more of a plasticky, rubberized vinyl material. But there's something that you can't see, and that's the ambient lighting. It has this pulsating ambient lighting, so when I turn the tunes up, the ambient light sort of pulses or gives you this nightclub feel like the Kia Soul does that they've brought in and put in this Seltos. Now because this is an SX model, I do have the dual 10.25 inch screens, but if you got the lower models, then you get a 4.25 inch screen for the driver and an 8-inch screen for everybody else. Let's take a dive in this 10.25 and see how they work. This is your home screen. You can see the time, date, and where we are and the temperature outside with a whopping 9 degrees. It is touchscreen, so I can slide my finger left and right to go through various displays. This is not the EV version, so there's no EV portion here like we see in other Kias we have reviewed. However, it does have quiet mode and of course sound mood lamp. And when I hit it, there's your colors: blue flight, peaceful forest, dreamy purple, and violet cloud. Now, that's probably not as important as the most important bit, and that is Kia Connect, because when I set up my phone with Kia Connect, I can lock and unlock it, as well as use my phone physically when I'm here to get in the car and drive away without the physical key. That to me is the most important piece. I know some people care about quiet mode, which is where you have kids in the back when they're sleeping. It only provides volume or sound to the front speakers. That's a cool feature. But after you've got into the vehicle with your Kia Connect, you would hit Apple CarPlay, and this is what you're going to use here on out. Everything else is sort of mundane. It's all about Apple CarPlay, and yes, you have to plug it in, but it's all good because it's getting charged. Whoo, baby. All right, Kia Seltos, talk to me. All right, headroom, decent. Seats, very firm, fairly comfortable, not ultra comfortable, but firm. Got these little funky little perforated designs on them though. That's fancy. Nice brown color, which is new for 2024. What other stuff? Handles, nice and soft. Always care about the elbow on the left side. On the right side, I have this armrest with 2 deep cup holders. There's no pass-through. Again, 60/40 seats that fold down, and they're done so by this way. There's nothing in the back for me to do that. I have to come to the side doors for me to open it up and then fold the seats down. I do have 2 vents here, which is nice. I have a pretty deep pocket storage compartment right there, and I have 2 USB-Cs. Now on this SX trim, I have heated seats on the back, one on this side, one on that side. I do have this piano black trim on the door panel, and of course I do have power windows on both sides. They are not fully automatic. The only one that's automatic is the front driver's door. As far as storage in the back here, besides the center console, I do have this little sort of pocket here behind the passenger seat only, not the driver's seat. And this doesn't have seat adjustments like other more expensive Kias, such as the Telluride, that I can push the seat backwards and forwards on the side here. This does not have that. It doesn't also have a panoramic sunroof. It simply just has a regular sunroof, which is an option, but that's okay at this price point. What other stuff back here? It's fairly spacious. I don't feel cramped at all. Now let's open up this smart lift gate. So if I have the key in my pocket and I walk up to the vehicle, it will unlock and open up the back trunk. It also has a height adjustable trunk, so I can bring it down to where I'd like. I'd hold this down. It goes beepity beepity beep. And then it sets to this height every time it opens and closes. So let me show you how much room this has. So let's use our fancy measuring tape. I've got 34 inches of depth. And as far as width goes, I've got 44 inches. I also have a dual load height. So this little panel or shelf over here, I can open it up. I can slide it back. And as you can see, I have a secondary load height. Super easy to use. I can put stuff that's higher. I kind of understand why it makes sense, but I would say just leave it at this height and don't have these guys. That way it always appears to be higher. Anyways, it is what it is. As far as load height off the ground goes, I'm a little bit on an angle or a hill, but I would say it's about 31 inches, which is a good number. Anywhere between 30 and 33 usually I say is good to load stuff into this load floor. I do have this tonneau cover. I can take these pieces off just like a Volkswagen, and I can pull it out, and as you can see, these seats do fold down 60-40. I do have a little bit of a compartment here. I can't load it too heavy, but I can put some small knick-knack paddywhacks on the back here. Now what Kia does well is they package a lot of safety features in their vehicles, and the Seltos is no different. You've got 4 of them standard, starting off with blind spot collision avoidance assist. Then you have front collision assist, and then lane keep and lane following assist. So those 4 features are standard on the Kia Seltos. You can add more stuff as you go up the packages. You get what I like to call take a cough-free assist, which means it just sort of monitors your inputs. If you do some weird stuff, it realizes that you're probably falling asleep, and it sort of gives you a wake up sort of vibe. And then you have rear cross traffic alert, and then rear view monitoring. So that's cool that they have it as packages, but lots of stuff in something that's this small is usually not sort of normal. You have to get sort of bigger, more luxurious vehicles to get this sort of content. So this road's a little bit bumpy, and taking this corner, this retuned suspension feels definitely more planted, more stable, I should say. The steering input is good. Oop, just missed a bird. It is good. It feels car-like, and that's what people want. They just want to feel like a car but sit higher, and this Seltos definitely achieves that. Brake pedal feels good. As I talked about on the outside, that blind spot, that little window there really helps my visibility. I'm sitting at a really good height. Yeah, feels good, solid. Steering's excellent, like most Kias are, no matter what you buy in the Kia lineup. I think the steering feel, the suspension feels very solid. Now when you dig deep in the infotainment and you go through all this little sub-menus, you come to cluster theme selection. And they have something called dynamic mode. And what it allows you to do is see on your display, your driver's display, your speed and your tach, but behind it, you get to see nice blue sky. And that's exactly what I see outside. It mimics what's outside to make you feel more vibrant. Now, the other thing I will say is that when I'm looking into this windshield, it has this reflection, and it's pretty apparent. I can't get my eyes off it. The heads-up display and this sort of mesh where the speaker goes, it's like right there. I have to kind of focus past it. Not the heads-up display itself, but the cutout of plastic in the dash just reflects pretty hard off this windshield. That's a complaint. For the money, there's a ton of features in this Kia Seltos. Forget all the safety stuff I talked about, but inside, there's a ton. Like, dual 10.25-inch screens. You've got this heads-up display. I know it's a little bit wonky with this little coming up, but hey, it's still heads-up display. You've got obviously the sunroof. You've got good driving dynamics when you're behind the wheel, but when you're sitting on the seat, you have heated and ventilated seats. You've got a heated steering wheel. You've got everything. Now, people are still going to drag on about not having wireless CarPlay. I kind of get it, but at the same time, it's not really that big of a deal to just plug it in. You do have wireless charger in this specific one, because again, this is an SX. This is a full jammers. And yeah, and the fact you can get brown now, kind of cool, different, unique. So all in all, for me, I really do like the Kia Seltos. I feel like Kia just in general is definitely on the upswing. They have like they've been for the last couple of years, and just no complaints. They've kind of figured out a formula per se, and they're rolling with it. So yeah, the Kia Seltos, thumbs up for me, and possibly for you. So thanks for watching this review on the 2024 Kia Seltos. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this Kia Seltos. Would you buy this at the top of its class, or would you buy something else? Let us know. We'd love to know. And as always, thank you so much for your support through all the years. We are so close to 200K. We might actually be at 200K when you watch this video. If not, please smash that subscribe button. Give us all the love we can get on our road to 1 million. And we're getting passed by an F250. Super dirty. Super dirty. Catch you on the next one.